had a sort of a bird's eye view about what happened in Washington yesterday. Your opinion on all of that?
Oh, fill me in, please.
It has to be very, very disappointing to see those folks close the doors and head home.
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
The House and Senate closing up for their recess and
and not doing anything about this?
Right.
Oh, I thought maybe there was some scandal that broke. Who got indicted now?
I'll tell you what, this is scandalous, though.
It is scandalous because we don't have to be dependent on foreign oil. Our government right now is choosing to keep us dependent on foreign oil. And the worst thing about it is it's not that, you hear one of the oppositions against offshore drilling is that it's going to disrupt the sea line. But, China is taking that oil anyway. And so it's not like the environment is not going to be disturbed. And don't you trust American companies to do that in a better, more environmental-friendly way? And Joe Biden, as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, has an opportunity to prevent China from taking our domestic oil that they're just going to sell back to us at 3 times the cost. So it is but it's par for the course. It's par for the course in that Congress right now can't get past partisan politics. And in a way, I trust that God works all things together for the good. And in a way, this is good because I think voters are going to recognize just how partisan Congress is. This economic crisis that we're facing when we're suffering every time we have to put gas in our car, wondering when it's going to hit $5. It's making people ask the question, why are we in this situation? Gas prices have doubled in the year and a half that the Democrats have control of Congress. And I think the apathetic voters are going to take a look at this, and they're going to demand real change. Not just change, but real change, real solutions, and they're going to demand that Congress do something.
Christine, I have saved an interview that we have, and it's a press conference plus a Q&A with Senator Biden when he made an appearance at Cape Henlopen State Park about 3 weeks ago, where he talked about the despoilation that would happen if we were drilling offshore. And, he was very adamant about that. You've got to ask yourself, is he any longer representing the majority? And I know he's had a strong voting bloc in Newcastle County, but is he any longer even representing the majority of his constituents there?
No, he's not. And see, that's what really baffles me, because he's saying, it's going to disturb the ocean floor. Then why isn't he stopping China from doing exactly what he's saying? The excuse that he's saying that America can't drill because of what it's going to do, the disruption it's going to cause, he should be doing something as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee to prevent China from doing exactly that. So what that proves to me, since that is his only answer, his only excuse that he keeps saying no, proves to me that he no longer cares about the needs of Delawarean. He no longer cares that people are literally choosing between gas in their car and food on their table. And they can do something immediately about it. One thing that I've also heard him say is that if we drill offshore, we're not going to feel the effects of that for 7 years. Well, 2 things about that. 7 years ago, had we been addressing this, we would have been feeling the relief today. We wouldn't be in this situation today. So to dismiss this as, we're not going to feel the effects, just proves that he is thinking more about his next election than he is about the next generation. But on that argument that we're not going to feel the effects for 7 years, that's simply not true, because as I have said on your show before, the price of oil is directly related to the strength of the dollar. The strength of the dollar is directly related to consumer confidence. And by George Bush merely lifting the ban on offshore oil drilling, we haven't even acted, Congress hasn't even, he put it in the hands of Congress. That mere symbolic act gave foreign investors, those who invest in our economy to strengthen the dollar, it gave them the confidence that America was about to take the steps necessary to strengthen our economy. So all this to say, on the day George Bush lifted the ban on offshore drilling, oil prices dropped. Therefore, gas prices dropped. So it will have an immediate impact in that it does strengthen our economy, which lowers the price of oil, which lowers the price at the pump.
I've got to ask you quickly. We have, of course, a decent turnout here. We had our first 100 signatures while we were trying to set up the tables before 11 o'clock this morning.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We have a lot of people here from Kent and Sussex counties. We have some people coming from across the state line from Maryland. You have a better, I guess, feel for it because you're traveling across the state. The reaction from people in Newcastle County.
About your rally?
About this rally, but also about the drilling issue.
Oh, everybody's excited about it, and I applaud you for taking these bold measures. I applaud you, Bill Colley, for being the organizer of this. I applaud WGMD for organizing this event and being such positive advocates for issues that affect us all. It's wonderful what you're doing. And I think everybody, people who were opposed to offshore oil drilling are now starting to think twice about it. And people who didn't think it was a big issue, maybe, that's, for environmentalists, they get involved in what's going on with energy. Everybody is starting to look at this in a whole new different light, that it's not just about gas prices, but it's also about our national security. It's also about maintaining our independence. And I'll tell you, I wish I could be there in Georgetown with all of you.
Well, the sun came out just as you started speaking.
It was?
The sun came out just as you started speaking.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, if I didn't have anything as important as a wedding, I would definitely be there. But weddings are a sacred event, and I'm honored to have been invited to my friend's wedding. So if it weren't anything other than that, I would be there. But I can assure you that next time I'm in that area, I too will sign that petition. I will join the hundreds of names, to show support for increasing American independence here.
Before we let you go, I've got to tell you what one a fellow who lives here in Georgetown told us last night, and I think this is really, it just tells you about the mindset that we have currently in Washington, and especially among our delegation. The folks at Mr. Biden's office, now I notified all of their offices that this was going on. The folks at Mr. Biden's office said they hadn't heard of it. I left them called the office, but Mr. Carper's office, they returned this fellow's telephone call and said, well, Tom can't be in attendance because he's going on vacation. So these people are going on vacation, and as you pointed out, we've got people who are wondering how they're going to afford groceries, much less pay for gasoline.
Exactly. And as a single woman, I understand the concerns, the budget concerns that families are facing. And as a U.S. Senate candidate, and with your help and your support as a U.S. Senator, I will say yes to drilling, yes to lower prices at the pump, yes to creating jobs through becoming energy independent, and yes to more money in our own pockets, whereas Joe Biden is saying no. He's just flat out saying no, and it's time for the people to say no to Joe.
Christine, we want to thank you much for your time today and wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you. And again, I really applaud your efforts to bringing such much-needed attention to a very important issue.
Well, we had a lot of people here today, by the way, asking after you, and we hope to see you in this area again soon.
Oh, I will definitely, like I said, as soon as I'm back in that area, I'm signing that petition.
Great. Thank you much.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Take care. God bless.